With psoriasis and probably a lot of these things, and you mentioned the immune system at the start, that autoimmune factor, that was one of the things that my husband and I first talked about when we met. He said to me, like, you've got to understand, of course, autoimmune is serious, but there has to be ways to start to work with it and heal it, because why would your body want to attack itself? And I'd been to doctors and naturopaths that had just kept me on protocols and routines forever, but never really, I wasn't necessarily getting anywhere. I was just kind of staying in this homeostasis place. And that for me was a really big mindset shift, which also then led to me exploring things like medicinal mushrooms and things, which changed, I think, how my immune system functions, because I can tolerate things I could never tolerate before. Yeah, I wonder what your experience with that is and how that relates to skin, because it's something that I hear all the time in our business, people coming to us with autoimmune.
Yeah, and it's such an important topic to talk about, because having an autoimmune condition is just awful. It really changes the way that you interact with society. I know when I had it, so I had mast cell activation syndrome, so I became allergic to cold weather. I'm on the Gold Coast, and when the Gold Coast got cold, I was covered head to toe in eczema, and I'd get hives if I had a cold shower. I tried the Wim Hof method, and I'm like,
don't do that.
Melts all over my body. So yes, with me, but my autoimmune condition, and I'm saying that I really don't talk about it anymore, because just talking about it can make my skin itch. So a big thing with autoimmune is not to make it who you are, not to talk about it when you need to, but try not to all the time, or make it an excuse for not being able to do things.
Yeah, that identifying with it sort of.
Yeah, I couldn't eat out with my friends. So, but in the end, I'll just say, oh, I'm just busy, or I can't, rather than going, oh, I can't eat. And now I can go out with my friends and I order whatever I want, and that's great. So with autoimmune, the biggest thing I found was reducing stress, or changing the way you process stress. So that's the lot of calming activities, a lot of self-love. I always look at what the body trying to tell you. If the immune system's attacking you, or you're attacking yourself like an auto way, how am I attacking myself? How am I attacking others? Am I being self-critical? Am I being critical of others? I think it's changing the brain retraining. It's changing pathways of the past. It's the way of accepting people, accepting myself. So a lot of self-love. Breathing techniques is important. Meditation is important. I know you guys do all of that. So, but yeah, someone with an autoimmune condition, it's really about going within and finding what works for you. I'm actually developing a program how I reversed my autoimmune condition, which I'll bring it out next year. So I've got the Healthy Skin Kitchen membership, and at the moment, so that's a membership that helps people to follow my diet programs, the food intolerance diagnosis program from the Eczema Detox. So that's going to be in there. We teach people how to diagnose their food intolerances and then how to expand their diet. But then I've got another program which helps me to reverse my autoimmune condition. So about calming down the nervous system and the steps, and brain retraining and the steps on how to do that. I tried brain retraining and it didn't quite work for me. So I kind of had to flip it and do the opposite of it, using partly what I learnt from brain retraining, but I had to kind of change it to suit my autoimmune condition. And I just want to share that with everyone. So I will bring that out in mid-2022. It's going to take me quite a while to do all the videos and stuff. But yeah, so autoimmune, very much self-love and getting back to nature. I grow fruit trees and veggie patch. I've got 20 fruit trees in my backyard. Beautiful. My soil is sand. I'm very much in the dirt trying to get my sand to be real dirt. So,
coastal problems,
first world problems.
They're good problems to have.
Autoimmune, and it's also important for people with autoimmune to just listen to themselves and go within, because everyone's slightly different. We have our different triggers and our different reasons for having it as well.
Yeah, I really relate to that piece on attacking yourself, and that shows up in your thought processes. And, for me, it was around, if there was the eating disorder, that was sort of an extreme expression of it, but that the autoimmune was almost like my secret continuation of that same process, if you know what I mean. And so it took a little while to really understand that. And for me, things like yin yoga and yoga nidra and meditation and the Taoist practices and stuff I learned, they all contributed to healing. But I would say it took 10 years for me to really be okay, and probably still have to manage things.
Well, but told that's kind of, a life sentence kind of thing. We're not told, hey, you can reverse that. I think us talking about it today, going to people, hey, you can reverse that, I think that's an important conversation to have, because I went out to dinner with a couple of friends the other night, and one, she's just recovered from this terrible arthritis that was all over her body, and she's only in her 40s. And another one, she's like just got it because of the pandemic. It came on because then she was in lockdowns in Melbourne, and she had terrible crippling arthritis in her hands. And I was like, oh, hey, you can reverse that. It's a lot of self-care, and it's a lot of not being so driven and relaxing a little bit. She goes, oh, no, I'm very driven. I'm not going to stop that. I'm like, I'm there with your sister. I'm very driven too, but I had to put my health first.